Today we're going to fix our audio. Not the audio of our videos, unfortunately, that I don't know how to do, but the audio of our GT86. The stock speakers suck, so we're going to replace all of them and hopefully find somewhere to fit this sub and amp, as well as a few other interior mods, including a steering wheel cover, and we're going to do some special bits and bobs in the interior from billet aluminium. Let's go! First we pull out all the clips and the screws and put them somewhere safe. My favourite place is the footwell, where I always lose them. I nearly always guarantee there's a screw behind a door pull, because that's where we always pull the doors. So it makes sense that they secure them really well. Once you think you've got most of the screws out, make sure you spend at least 10 minutes trying to undo these plugs before you resort to violence. Come on. Yeah. Now if you're just replacing speakers, you don't need to take this handle out. But I'm wanting to do something a little bit special in here, so you'll see what that is at the end. Down to the speaker. Let's whip this off. So that is a really crummy speaker. You can tell it's really light. I suppose great for a sports car, but terrible for sound. I've actually gone for JBLs. These are 167mm, so let's see how well these ones fit. Looks more size appropriate. What I think I'm going to do is absolutely destroy this holder. Take that out, take the speaker out, and hopefully that one I'm going to screw to the same plastic housing. And then we've got all the mounting points, and these connections can also go to the connections in here. So let's do that. So with that back in, before I put the door card on, I think we should try it. Just give it a whirl. Oh good, that's already sounding a bit better. So I suspect there's actually something wrong with that speaker, but let's do the other side. So that's the fronts. Let's see what we can do about the backs. So it's no wonder these sound so bad. They're tiny and on a tinny bracket. Let's see what we've got. See what we can do about it. Okay, joinery skills aside, this is our solution. That's the old bracket with the tiny hole, very tinny, piece of wood, new holes, new screws, sorted. What we're going to do is I'm going to draw this up, we're going to put a 6-inch speaker hole in it, we'll get somebody else to laser cut them out for us. So you can see we've fit the much bigger speaker in there, we're on a much solider mount. Solider even a word? A much more rigid mount. So it should give it more bass. I don't know. Don't know anything about audio really. But I just know that metal bracket was terrible. As I say, we're going to get these drawn in CAD and I'll get them laser cut and they'll be beautiful and I'll offer them for sale if you want to do a similar option on yours. We'll also get some decent screws to go with them. But we've got door speakers, rear speakers, all upgraded. Wonderful. The last of the audio mods is the sub. This is the box it came in. We're going to try and hide it somewhere. So let's see if it'll fit under the boot carpet is what I'm thinking. Let's have a look. Oh, how did that get there? So we've got all this room for activities and leaves. Okay, so that's pretty big. Maybe just get it to one side and we'll get away with that, I think. So I don't know if I've told you the plan, but I've decided to mod the original box so it fits snugly to one side in the boot. And then I'm going to make it removable so we can just take it out if I need the storage space. So, more mad joinery skills. Okay, that fits really well. So we're at the front, we've connected our power cable to the battery and I've taken the fuse out. Now you either need to run the cable first or make sure it's not connected at this end, or take the fuse out, or you might short it while you're running the cable, which you don't want to do. So we've done that with no fuse in. We're pushing this through the stock grommet and then we're going to run it through the car to the boot to the amp. So I'm just going to pull this through now. So now we'll just fish it through the trim. And there we are. Power. We ran these two wires the same way we ran the power wire, amp. This is remote for to turn the amp on, tell it when it's on, so that needs an ignition live. And these are the speaker inputs. Now connect these to the speaker outputs. To get this out is super easy. You just pull this trim off, easy, and then there's 4 bolts that unbolt this unit. Now I found a little wiring diagram online that's telling me this little plug here is my 2 speaker outputs there, and then apparently pin 9 on here is a remote out. We're just going to splice these wires, so we just open it up but we don't cut them, connect the speaker input and then solder it up. We are back together, the sub is wired in, the amp is on, put the fuse back on and it sounds so much better. the difference is night and day. Next task, which is going to be retrimming this steering wheel. And of course, I've no door trim on yet because I'm going to measure up the door handle. We're going to make a billet aluminium door handle. So we're back in the car. I want to paint these silver bits. So we're going to pull these, and we're also going to do the bits on the steering wheel and the handles. So let's just pop them out. So these pull forward once you've got the trim out, and then there's a little screw here. That's why I'm struggling. That's one. Now we know how to do it. Should be a bit easier. I'm going to start pop the airbag out, which is just some small clips at the back that we have to wangle. Always a good idea to disconnect the battery first. Now these clips can be very tricky. The airbag off. Got our little screws here now to get this trim off. Then we'll go get it all in paint. So while the paint's drying on the trim pieces, we're going to put this steering wheel cover on the steering wheel. So we put this on the outside, we put tape on the thing to stop it moving around, I believe, and then painstakingly stitch the stitches together. So let's get on with it. Got all the double-sided tape on. Now we're going to stretch it over the wheel, I think. I've never done this before, so it could be a disaster. But I don't think there's much worse than the standard steering wheel, so hopefully we'll get a result that doesn't cost too much to do. Okay, let's peel the tape and stick it down. So I've just peeled all the tape off, so it's super sticky, and I've realised I'm back to front. These should be on this side. So I'm going to try and get it off without it getting too stuck, hopefully. Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Getting it on might be worse though. It's hard enough without sticky stuff on. There we go. Not so bad after all. That is tedious. We're done though, stitched all the way around. Is it a great job? No. Do I like it much more than the original one? Yeah, it's a lot better. Feels nice, looks nicer. So last thing is we just got to put all these trims back and the airbag. Let me get the final look. Be super careful with this thing. That's it. And then the airbag just clips in, which is super good. Probably put the horn on. And there we have it. Let's check it out. What do we think? Much improved? You can see where I've made a couple of small mistakes, but pretty good, I think. So now I'm just gonna throw the console back together. So that's it, we're all done. I think things are looking much better in black. And the final touch is these billet door pulls that we made. Let us know what you think. Thanks guys.